Battlegrounds. Okay. You either love them or you hate them. No in between. Now, today, I guess I'm just gonna be talking a lot about Battlegrounds and, maybe reviewing some. Even some dead ones, and maybe why they died. I mean, they always have to die eventually, but you either love Battlegrounds or you hate them. There's no in between, because you're either the one that's getting cooked or you're the one cooking. And you always try to be the best, but I'm gonna see what's the problem with Battlegrounds and why some are dying and why the community still grows yet the games die. But let's go to get into it. Okay, so before I get started, just know this is all just my opinion and I don't have any facts to prove this exactly, but let's go get into it with no interruptions. Okay, so obviously as you can tell, I'm in Strongest Battlegrounds, and this is sort of the base for all Battlegrounds and just the general thought of Battlegrounds. And this game used to peak definitely a lot of people, and it still does, around 100,000 players, concurrent players at least. And the reason it sort of died down and it's not quite dead is because of its lack of updates. Now, this game normally takes a couple months to update, or maybe even longer. And whenever it comes to Battlegrounds, people want more content, because eventually whenever you're cooking too much, you don't really have anything to do. But I mean, there's definitely a lot of characters in this game. Every game has their pay to win effect or other stuff, but this game I would say equally balanced and definitely has its aspects for Roblox concurrency. But besides this game, let's get into a couple other ones. Okay. So now it's time for one of my personal favorites. Here's Battlegrounds. Now this game is definitely pretty good, definitely has a lot of animations, but is also dying like the Strongest Battlegrounds, and for around the same reason. Now this game also doesn't update very often, and is also very popular, or used to be popular. Now this game has a decent amount of characters for sure, and will always have a growing community, obviously. But hold on, let me fight this kid real quick. Okay, so before I was really interrupted, yeah, I mean, this game is definitely dying and has its aspects and everything. But overall, I would say it's definitely one of the better Battlegrounds in my opinion. It's just because of the animations, and I am an animation type of guy. But let's go to get into the next one, I guess. Okay, well, now I'm going to be talking about Ultimate Battlegrounds. Now, this game, as you can tell, there's definitely a pattern. It's also sort of dead. It averages around 6,000 concurrent players, from my knowledge, and it's also dying because of a lack of updates. Now, obviously, these games take a long time to do animations and stuff, but I'm not a developer, so I don't know exactly how long that would take. But for this game, there's definitely not as many characters, only 3 playable characters without spending Robux, and I mean, there's sort of a lack of items and stuff, and I mean, it definitely has its own set of stuff that you can do, and it's definitely interesting. It has decent animations. I wouldn't say they're necessarily bad, but I mean, it's another Battlegrounds game, as you can tell. But let's go and get into the next one, I guess. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about Legends Battlegrounds, I'm pretty sure. And, this game also averages around 6,000 current players, and it is pretty good, I would say. It definitely lacks a playable characters. It only has 2 free-to-play characters and 1 pay-to-play, I guess. I wouldn't say pay-to-win, but it's definitely one of the more broken characters, which could be a key to why it's dying. But it's also, as you can tell and guess, it's a lack of updates. Now, the lack of updates is definitely an interesting thing, because Battlegrounds normally lasts a long time, because this game did recently, or semi-recently, get an update, which was the Senji update, and that character is still Robux, or early access, I guess you could say. And this game doesn't have bad animations either, and as you can tell behind me, there's definitely a lot of stuff going on. And it also has a good amount of emotes. The currency isn't too hard to get. It has its Robux features, gifting, and it's normal stuff that every game would have. And you know, nothing really sticks out too much, which leads us to our next game. Okay, so lastly, I'm going to be talking about Jujutsu Beat. Now this game is definitely interesting, and definitely has its own type of style. Now this game does actually update pretty often, but out of all the games I've gone over, it has the lowest amount of players. Now, if you put those two things together, it sort of doesn't make sense. Now, as you can tell, this game definitely has its own design and is pretty cool looking. And if I go to the amount of characters, basically all of these except for one character cost Robux. Now, that leads to, why does this game only average around 2,000 to 1,000 players? Well, that's a good question. And, you know, it might just be because the community just isn't there, or maybe it just doesn't have good enough animations. Now, don't get me wrong, the animations for this game are not bad, but they definitely do not compare to the animations of the other games. Which is why the updates come out more quicker, because the quality is just not exactly there, and that's why updates take longer in other games that have more players. So that brings us to the end point. Do you think games should take longer and update and have better quality? Or do you think games should roll out updates around every week or 2 weeks, but not have as good as quality animations? But that's up for you to decide. Hope you enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!